started. And then... All right, let's go. Ron, Bob, Jay to start us off.
Hey, Coach, how's it going today?
Going good. How you doing, Ron?
Good, man. Good. So first of all, just take me back to the second scrimmage. How did your safeties perform, and how did you guys perform as a secondary?
Okay. Overall, coming out of that second scrimmage, I was happy with our development and where we were as far as our progress from day one of fall camp. Obviously, there were some explosive plays that we need to clean up, and anytime there's explosive plays, we feel as a secondary that's a huge emphasis for us to eliminate explosive plays. Our standard has to be really high, and if there's any explosive plays, when it's all said and done, our secondary can control that. And so the amount of explosive plays that we saw in that second scrimmage, that's not up to our standard when it's all said and done. So there were some really good things, and I'm not going to take away from some of the progress and things that we were able to get done in that scrimmage. But bottom line, our standard is really high. And so when we see the amount of explosive plays on film that we saw, we know we've got work that we need to get done in order to improve upon that.
I know you're coaching on the other side of the ball, but what has stood out to you on the field about Khalil Shakir this fall?
Man, we talk about it all the time as far as iron sharpens iron. And that guy has sharpened us tremendously. I'll just put it that way. And he is a fun guy to trying to defend. And really, it's not that fun when you're out there or as a coach as I'm watching. But he is a dynamic, explosive athlete. But more importantly, he understands the game. He understands as far as route timing. He understands as far as his leverage and splits. He's got the little crafty part of his game that you can tell he knows what he's doing. And it's not just relying on pure athletic ability. It's the fact he's a smart football player and very competitive individual. And so ultimately, man, it's a true blessing for all of us on the defensive side to get it go against him, because it just makes us better when it's all said and done.
You guys are full on into a UCF prep now. So from your perspective, what stands out about that offense?
Just from a secondary standpoint, speed, and more speed. You look at those two receivers that they got down there, and you're looking at the 100-meter times that they've clocked over the course of their career, and you're going, okay, yeah, these guys can fly. And so we understand that, again, as from the secondary standpoint, that we have to be ready for them to try and take the top off of our defense. And so we've got to be ready to defend those as best we can. That Coach Malzahn is going to be dialed as far as what they're doing schematically speaking, and he's always going to pose challenges in a lot of different ways. And so there's a lot of things that we need to emphasize going into this game as far as, again, it goes back to those eliminating those explosive plays and really forcing this offense to move the ball 12, 15 play drives and making sure that we hold up as far as from the front end all the way to the back end. It always starts with stopping the run. That's something that's our standard as a defense. And so that a Gus Malzahn offense, they're going to run the ball. And so we've got to stop the run first, control the line of scrimmage, and then it's on us in the back end to make sure we defend the shots that we know are coming.
And their quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, is getting some preseason Heisman hype. And what stands out about him on film?
Well, you see the ball where it comes out of his hand and how he's able to maneuver himself around the pocket. And when plays break down, still make a big play. Any quarterback that you watch in film that's able to do that outside the scheme of the offense is able to make plays because of his thinking on the run, because of his ability to escape and find just little windows to find receivers in. That always poses a problem for defense. And he's that type of quarterback, man. And he's a smart guy. You can tell that he's not fooled very often as far as those pre-snap reads. And when he wants to throw the ball, man, he can spin that thing. And so he's one of those dynamic, one of the top, however you want to say it, as far as top whatever quarterbacks in the country. Got a lot of experience, game experience. So it's going to be a fun challenge to take on.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Coach, Jones and Skinner are returning guys at safety. What do you like best about them, and what do you think they can do for the defense this year?
Well, the first thing that I like is when we get off the bus and they come off the bus first, they look pretty dang good in that blue uniform, and their length and their rangy athletic ability that provides a lot of versatility for us in that back end. But more importantly is from a standpoint of game experience, from a standpoint of leadership, from a standpoint of being the quarterbacks of our defense, we can rely on those guys. And those guys are that I know when they go out there, they know what I'm thinking and vice versa. And so when they see a formation, they see something, they can make the adjustment on the fly. They can get guys in the right spot as far as all the other guys, the other 9 guys on the field on the same page as them, and make sure that all 11 are playing the same deal. If all 11 are right, no matter if technically we're wrong, we're always going to be right. And those are 2 guys that I feel can get us in those situations.
From your position standpoint, what do you think the greatest challenge is in facing Gabriel and this defense? What will they test you guys the most on?
They're going to test us on that pre-snap awareness, what I call pre-snap success. We have to win the pre-snap. They're going to put us in a lot of different formations. They're going to speed us up as far as the different tempo. They're going to slow it down. So we're going to be challenged as far as just getting ourselves aligned and get our eyes right every single snap. And that is because, as we all know, if our eyes aren't correct and we're not aligned correctly, that's going to result in explosive plays. So this offense is set up to where they are trying to expose you if you can't get aligned right. And so for me, that's our biggest challenge going into this, is to make sure we make this thing as simple as possible for our guys in order for them to be able to align quickly, get their eyes where they need to get aligned, and play fast. Because when we play fast, we're pretty dang good. But any defense that can't play fast because they're too slow, they can't get lined up, their eyes are wrong, it makes for a long day.
And what about dependable depth? That's something we've heard all year. How do you feel about, you've got Kane, Jones, and Skinner in the back end that are about as good as anybody, but what about lines 2 and 3?
Yeah, we got some young guys behind us that are behind those big 3 that have gotten a lot of reps over the course of fall camp and spring ball. And so hopefully over the course of that those reps, they've learned from a lot of things. And I'll be honest, they've learned from a lot of failure, because that's ultimately what helps you learn, right? It's those little things over the course of fall camp, those plays that Shaq going over the top of us because we weren't aligned correctly, or technique wise, we failed in whatever assignment or technique we had, and it resulted in a big play in practice. That's why you practice, and that's why you get the reps that you do in order to learn from those failures and learn from those mistakes. And so these young guys that have gone through spring ball and now fall ball with us in this scheme, they've learned a lot. They've learned a lot because of some failures that they've gone through. And so that's a big emphasis within our program is, hey, we're going to play fast, and you're going to fail sometimes, but you're going to learn from those, and you're only going to get better. And so over the course of this time, those developmental guys, those young guys have had to learn a lot, and they've had to grow a lot. And so that's from day one, they understand and know that the urgency has to be there for them, because they're one play away. They are one play away. So I've got to continue to do my job as far as to get these guys prepared as if they are going in game 1 here in almost a week.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Bob.
How are we doing, Kane?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Kane, from the moment you arrived on campus, about 8 months ago, where has your position group grown the most?
I think just the sense of raising our standards in everything we do. I think there's the emphasis for us from day one has been trying to really emphasize those small little details, because we say it all the time, and Coach Andy is a huge proponent of it as well, as far as understanding that small things equal big things when it's all said and done. And so just that grasping onto that concept from not only a football standpoint, because as a DB, if your eyes aren't right, like we talked about, if my alignment or my leverage is off by just a little foot, that can result in a huge play. And so trying to hammer home the point that, hey, it goes off the field as well. Like our habits off the field result in our habits on the field. So taking care of the smallest little detail off the field is going to help us be able to take care of those small details on the field. And it's still a work in progress for us. We still got to hammer that home every single day, and we can't get complacent in that. But that to me is going to start to result, and we're going to see the results of how much this group in particular has tried to emphasize that over the course of the last however many months. 8 months, you said 8 months. I'm like, wow, has it really been 8 months? That's crazy.
You said when it comes to UCF that, the number one objective is stopping the run. You guys also have to be aware of their speed and their ability to, to pop the top off of your defense. I mean,
Yep.
when you have a team that's so good at both, how much of a challenge is that?
It is. It's a tremendous challenge. And that's why you've got to be able to eliminate number one first, right? If we can do a good job of handling the run and controlling the line of scrimmage, that allows us to now do some different things in order to protect us from those shots coming over the top. And I'll be honest, you'll ask me every week what the challenge is, and I'm going to tell you probably every single week, that's the challenge. We've got to make teams one-dimensional. We've got to stop the run. That's a standard of ours as defense, and that's just only going to help us be able to help eliminate the shots and the explosives behind us. But just every week, every offense is going to pose a little bit more of a challenge or just a little bit different challenge on how we go about that. But that's it right there. If we can control line of scrimmage and our secondary understands that we are a huge part of stopping the run, we've got to help control the perimeter. We've got to have the edges set. And our safeties a lot of times are going to be big parts of controlling that in the box as far as the run fits are concerned. So we have got to be a big part of that. And then in turn, that only helps us as well as far as protecting against the shots that we know are coming.
I know your safeties spend a lot of time together. Kane, when it comes to your starting safeties, have you noticed a camaraderie between them?
Yeah, man, they're funny, man. They're like an old married couple. I mean, it's hilarious to watch their interactions. And I mean, they are dynamic together on the field as far as their communication and they're dialed and they know what the other's thinking a lot of times. And so it's fun to watch them. And then it's really fun to be in a room with them and watch them argue about just the littlest things that have nothing to do with football, because they always seem to be on the same page as far as our communication when it comes to what we got going football related. But when it comes to who's the best player in the NBA, when it comes to whatever other topic that you want to talk about, those two are going to be at each other. And if they don't agree, they're going to make sure they come to, I don't think they've ever actually come to an agreement, I'll be honest, if they argue. But it's pretty funny to watch their relationship in that regard.
One more, and that's just, time and time again, you've joked about their get off the bus factor. In today's game, though, how do you make that effective on the field? There are rules in place where it is a little more challenging to impose your will at times. So how does that get off the bus factor truly benefit you guys on the field? Yeah.
And you're 100% right. I mean, obviously we've got to be smart in how we go about. In general, defense is different nowadays than, say, even when I played. I don't think I would have made it through most of the season back in the day, just because the rules are just different, right? And so we've just got to educate our guys, and we've done a really good job of that as far as how we teach our tackling and how we make sure that we keep our head out of all of our tackles, how we make sure our eyes are low on our target, and make sure that we stay within that strike zone that's going to be allow us to be legal, but still allow us to physically impose our will on offenses and still play the physical brand of football that we want to play, both from the line of scrimmage all the way back to the back end. And those two safeties, again, in their physical stature are going to help them as far as that physical part of the game. But the physical stature, their range, their length also allows them to cover a lot of ground that some guys that just don't have that natural length or that natural range because of just their body types, it's a little bit difficult or more difficult to cover as much ground as these guys are able to cover. And so when you talk about today's offenses, as far as the RPOs, the windows that they create, the spacing that they're creating, when you've got guys with length like we do, they're able to cover a lot more of that ground and make up some of that width and distance than the shorter or the less, just look at myself, for example. They just can cover more ground than your normal average safety.
Thanks, Kane.
Thank you.
Let's go BJ and then Mallory.
How's it going, Kane?
Good. How you doing, BJ?
Doing pretty good. Speaking about Tyreek specifically, you've kind of, talked about both of them together, but we're going to talk to Tyreek here in a few minutes. He's a guy that started at least 4 games, I think, each of the last 3 years, and obviously has that experience. But, it seems like, you know, JL for whatever reason, maybe gets a little more of the pub or the talk sometimes when they're kind of lumped together. Specifically with Tyreek in terms of his potential this year and his growth that you've seen him make, what is Tyreek's, you know, outlook?
Man, and I'll be honest, Tyreek is the guy that, to me, I know I can rely on him when it comes to being the quarterback of the defense. You know, Kala's in that position as well because Kala's played a lot of games very similar, but Kala's position is different. And Kala's position is very specific to what he's doing. And so his ability to see the whole field because he's tighter to the line of scrimmage isn't there. Whereas Tyreek's back and has got some depth and has the ability to see the whole picture. And so his ability to see offensive formations, how we're aligned, and to help everybody across the board get aligned correctly, not only controlled his field side, but to communicate with JL on the boundary side to make sure that both sides are functioning at a high level together. And so he really is that quarterback when it's all said and done of our defense. And I think he's done a tremendous job of taking and grabbing from his experiences of all the time and games that he's had played and started. And he's really helped myself and our coaching staff as far as, hey, well, I know that we've done it this way. I know we want to do it this way. Well, here's a way that we can get this done and blend the two of them. And it's been fun to work with him in that regard and to see him also blossom, not only from a quarterback standpoint on the field, but also on the sidelines with our young guys and helping them try and see the game just as well as he does.
I know the team's different, the personnel's different, but when you were an analyst at Washington, you played Auburn, you played, you know, Gus Malzahn. How is that, if at all, helping you as you prepare for this game?
Oh, there's no question that you can dive back on those experiences, man. When it comes to coaching and coaching against other offensive coaches, you have to dive deep into what they've done, where their personality comes from, what they're all about. And so you can go back as far as you can and find little nuggets here and there they're going to help in your preparation. And so, yeah, my experiences at UW and having a chance to play against them in 2018 is something I've definitely looked back into and dusted off some folders that were in the garage to pull out some information to see what else I could come up with. But it also helps, obviously, when Coach Avalos and the staff at Oregon, when they were there, obviously they had some experience there as well. So we've got a lot of knowledge and experience of going against Gus. And so I'm excited about that challenge again, man, because he's obviously one of the great offensive minds in this game. And so it's fun to get that type of challenge going into game one.
You had that game, and I know there was a Fiesta Bowl and a Rose Bowl while you were at Washington, but you're, you know, obviously in a different role as an analyst. To be a coach on the field like this in a game of this magnitude against Central Florida, you know, when you spent, you know, much of your career obviously at the FCS level, I mean, this is one of the bigger games you've coached in probably. How do you look at it just from a personal standpoint, just your excitement level and from a team perspective, how big a game this is to set the tone for the season?
Yeah, no, it's obviously when we get a chance to be involved in something like a game like this and the outside world expectations and what they're looking at this game as, it's a fun experience. And you got to really try and in the moment look around and go, yeah, this is awesome. And I'll definitely do that when I'm out in the stadium and we're out there and we're going through pregame warmups, man. There'll be a moment where I'll look around and go, man, I'm truly grateful for this opportunity to be a part of this moment right here. But really when it's all said and done as a coach and how I've looked at things over the course of my career is this is about our players. This is about preparing them as best as possible to get them ready for this one game that's in front of them, because it's the most important game because it's our first game. It's the game that's there in front of them. And I know that's cliche, you know, one game at a time. But reality is that's how you have to go about it. And so I'm excited about just the preparation that's going into this. And I'm excited about what this looks like for our guys and just for the players in general, on both sides of the ball, really, given everything that all these guys and players, coaches, everybody on the staff have gone through over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, to be able to go out there and have this stage and to be in a stadium and to feel that college day atmosphere. That's what I'm most excited about, is for our players and for everybody involved to be able to go out there and put this hard work that everybody's put into this moment.
And final one for me, Kane. We were talking to Tim Plow last week, and he just said how frustrating it is to try to move the ball against you guys in practice, and just how he's so excited to go against somebody else because you guys are going to be one of the better defenses they face all year. From your perspective, I know there's a lot of unknowns about the offense and things like that going into the season. What's going to pose challenges for other teams from this offense on your other side of the ball?
Man, I'll tell you what, Coach Plow and his staff and these players, they've really done a tremendous job and again, going back 8 months now, I guess it is, that coming in and putting forth their schemes and how they want to do things. And it's been fun to watch them develop and just to see their progress over the course of since spring ball through fall camp. And I'll be honest, that like I said, that second scrimmage, whew, I mean, there was a lot of explosive plays. They have a lot of weapons. I'll just put it this way, that they, offensively speaking, there was a lot of weapons over there, and they've done a great job as far as the staff is concerned of moving those weapons around and getting those guys that can be explosive with the ball in their hands. They're going to get the ball, and they're going to find a variety of ways to get those guys, their offensive weapons, the ball. And they're going to do it in a lot of different ways as far as the tempo, as far as just the different looks that they're going to give defenses. And so it's definitely prepared us well from a defensive standpoint for a lot of different pictures, a lot of different things. And I think that's forced our hand from a defensive standpoint and preparation wise that, hey, we feel really good about going against multiple offenses over the course of the season because we've seen a lot of different looks from what our offense provides.
Appreciate it, Kane.
Thank you.
Kane, do you know, are you up in the booth with Danielson? How's that going to work this year? You on the field? Can you tell me about the communication between the defensive staff game day?
Yeah. So right now, just coming off the spring and fall camp over the course of the how many scrimmages we have now, it has been Coach D and myself up in the box and the other coaches down on the sideline. And that just provides us the opportunity to see everything and to be able to talk amongst ourselves up there and to make sure the adjustments that we need to make as the game progresses, we're able to make, and we're able to communicate down and make sure that the guys are seeing the same thing we are, but also being able to get the adjustments that need to be made as far as the sideline, from a sideline standpoint is concerned. Now trust me, I was on the sidelines for a long time, for most of my career. I made the move in the box the last couple of years. And it's definitely helped me just from a perspective standpoint, because it removes you a little bit from the emotions that come from being on the sidelines. And so it allows you to be a little bit more locked into what you have to from a just overall big picture scheme standpoint.
How much of this is a guessing game? I mean, you can prep for Dylan Gabriel in this offense, but every play they ran last year, I mean, you don't know. I mean, JG Kinney, their OC, he was at Hawaii last year. You know what Gus likes to do. You try to put all this in the crock pot, right? And say they could be doing all types of this stuff. How's that process go?
That's a great way to put it, man. A crock pot. But it really is somewhat of a guess to a certain extent. You know, you lean on, okay, what has Gus done over the course of his career as a head coach, and you try and get a feel for, all right, whose offense is this really going to be, and trying to dive in as much as you can and gather as much info as you can. But you have to ultimately prepare for what has been put on film and give guys hey, here's what we're thinking. We can't prepare for everything, bottom line. We don't have enough time to do that unless we started practice way back in when spring ball was done. And we just prepped from that point on in order to prep for everything that potentially could come. So you give them base rules, and you basically go into game one saying, hey, this is a base rule game. And they show us anything other than any type of rule breakers, we'll make the adjustments. But bottom line, here's our base rules. And what they show us, our base rules will handle everything that they may potentially show us on game one.
Thank you, Coach.
Let's go Will and then Steve.
Hey, Kane, I just had one quick one. You were talking about how important it is to win the pre-snap. How much of the pre-snap calls fall on Zeke and Riley compared to the back end with your guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's really a combination. It's a combination because those two guys inside at the second level, Zeke and Riley, they've got to communicate with those guys up front. and they've got to make sure that the front is dialed and we're in the right front. We're set the right way. And that's the first step as far as stopping the run, right? Is to make sure we're aligned correctly, to make sure we're matched up numbers for numbers. And so those guys have to handle a lot of that. On the back end portion of it, we're involved in that piece as well, but not as much as far as with the communication with the front. But we've got to make sure we're communicating with the second level to make sure our schemes coverage wise match up with what we're trying to do run fit wise. And so it's all got to be interconnected. And that's why when I say that when we make a call, those guys up in the second level give us the thumbs up and we're rocking and rolling. And what if the call is wrong, we'll make the corrections on the sidelines. But as long as everybody's wrong, we're all going to be right.
Thanks, Kane.
Thank you, Will.
Hey, Kane, my question's kind of similar, building off of that, because it's been a different year with COVID. But one thing it did was allow all the seniors who would have been seniors last year to come back this year. And I'm wondering what that experience means for you guys, as other teams will have that too. So I don't know if it's an advantage or not, but it's certainly interesting and something new this year.
It is definitely something new. And that is something that obviously everyone's experience with COVID has really forced a lot of new experiences. And I think there's been a lot of good ultimately that can come from it when it's all said and done, if you learn from it. And obviously we've made some adjustments in order to make sure that we give these guys, I think it's been awesome in order to give these guys an opportunity to really go out the right way. And what I mean by that is they get that full senior season and get the full game day experiences and be able to just enjoy this process one more time as seniors. But from an experience standpoint, it also helps us with the idea of being able to develop young guys and to have these young guys be able to see and watch some of these older guys go through this process and watch and learn and mimic how those guys went about their business every single day. I think that's a huge advantage that we're going to try and take full advantage of. That's a huge thing that we can really point to these older guys and go, hey, you young freshmen, when you come in, watch how these guys handle their business. Watch how they go about their day, their purpose, prep, and development. And you have an opportunity literally to just mimic how they do what they do, and in turn, turn it into your own process as you continue to grow. And then when you talk about just game day experience and having those guys that played kickoff, for example, 40 plus games, that's invaluable when it comes to that type of experience and a guy that is going to be ready on game day because he's been doing it for so long. And so that piece of it's huge. Those guys that have experienced game days, they know what it is to make adjustments on the fly. We should have zero hangups in that regard because of the experience that we have with some of these older guys.
Thanks, Kane.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Kane, thanks for the time. We'll let you get out of here. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Kane.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So, let's go. John, Jay, Will, start us off.
Okay, what's your role in this offense going to be? Seems like we've been waiting to see you have that big time year. I guess this is going to be it, huh?
Yeah. We just for this. Everybody's going. It's like it's going to be up to you to make plays. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever you want to make out of it, honestly.
What are your thoughts on Hank Bockmeyer being your starting quarterback and winning the gig?
I think that it's a great fit for us. I mean, Hank, he's gonna do his thing. He's gonna make the right reads. He a great quarterback, so it'll be very interesting for him and for us, for the receiver core as well.
Are you going to be more on the outside or more on the slot, or maybe 50-50?
I feel like more outside, because I'm a big receiver, so outside the most.
Have you been told you're a starter yet?
Like I said before, it's like with this offense, we all just, it's like personnel. So it really like someone else can be out before me on the field. So it's just all about personnel.
8 days. till UCF. What's kind of going through your mind? What you and this receiving core is going to have to do to come out there and make some plays?
I think we're very excited for it, just to see what we can do and just to show people how good the receiver core is. So I think that we have taken huge strides during fall camp, and I feel like we're gonna have a great game when it comes to UCF. So I think we doing pretty good. I think we'll be pretty good.
You guys pretty much got the entire playbook and offense ready to go. I mean, where are you with the offense? And I assume it's all been installed.
For the most part, it's all been installed.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Octavius. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Chilling.
Octavius, you've been around Boise State football for a while, so I'm just curious in your opinion, what wide receiver had the best camp? And when I say best, like the most productive camp, not necessarily the best wide receiver.
Best camp, I would say Static. He took huge strides in his game. I feel like also Shay White, he also stepped up, showed that he can play a lot. Billy, I mean, it's a lot. DK, Davis Cutters, showing what he can do. They all just have their own style of play, and that's what we need in this offense. Everybody to bring what they have to this offense to make us be the best we can be.
Octavius, how much fun are you having playing football right now?
Excuse me, can you say that again?
How much fun are you having playing football right now?
Oh yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. The new coaching staff coming in, just teaching us a lot of new things that we can implement in our game and in life that have helped me out tremendously. So I'm having fun, definitely having fun.
Octavius, and I know a few months ago we talked to you about last year. At any point in time, did you wonder if you might be done playing football or playing at Boise State?
I did. I had thoughts about it. But like I said, the coaches, the new coaching staff and my teammates, they called me and they just talked to me, kind of helped me get back on the right track. And everything else just been history from there. And as you can see, I'm back and just, having fun and just trying to move forward, So it's been great. It's been great.
Was there a tipping point or anything that anyone in particular said that made you decide, like, let's run it back again or anything?
No, it was just more of me just like I told y'all before, it's just like me getting my stuff together and figuring everything out. And then that's when I came back to that point when it's like, okay, I'm gonna just finish up my last year that I got back from COVID and just make the best of it. Because like I say, you never know if you're gonna play football again. So I was just like, I just want to make the best of this opportunity and let everything else take care of itself.
Have we seen the best of Octavius Evans in a Boise State uniform yet?
Fortunately not with a lot of injuries and stuff, but like I said, I'm real healthy now, and looking forward to like showing people what I can really do, and I'm very excited to be able to do that and like say that I'm like 100% healthy, and that I'm actually like I feel real good. I feel like I ain't never felt like this in a long time, so it's great.
And just one more from me. With Hank Bockmeyer winning the QB1 job, what do you think is Hank Bockmeyer's best attribute as a quarterback?
I would say Hank. It's just Hank, man. He gonna do what he do. He's a tough guy. He likes, he can take hits. He can do all that. He willing to sacrifice for the team, and that's something that he always has since he came in here. Sacrifice. I mean, y'all seen him taking hits, trying to get to a first down. Probably should be sliding, but it's just him, just having that toughness and just that blue collar work ethic. That's what got him where he's at now. So well deserved for him.
Octavius, thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Octavius, how much confidence are you playing with right now?
I feel like I got a lot of confidence. Obviously, just coming back in it. I had to work on building that confidence back. But I feel like my coach, my position coach, he did a great job just helping me build my confidence back and just working with me to make sure that I have that confidence before we get into the game, our first game. So it's definitely, I'm still working, but it's definitely there, and it's better than it was, So
Kind of following up on that, what kind of impact has Coach Miller had on you on and off the field?
Coach Miller, he always try to pick up the little things. He always talk to us about the little things and just trying to develop us into men, because one day this game gonna end. Fortunately for everybody, the game gonna end no matter where you at in life. So he just teaches us how to be a man and how to take care of the little things and show us that, hey, once you take care of the little things, the big things will come. So he's done a great job with that, and just making us feel welcome and treating us with respect and stuff like that, just because that's what we're gonna have to give back when we get into the real world, is respect, and show people that way that we do things around here. So he just did a great job just being that bringing that man side of us out.
Octavius, on and off the field, what's your bond like with CT?
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my day one, man. We do everything together. So, when I first came here, CT was actually that's the dude I instantly linked with, because he's from Texas, I am as well. And we clicked ever since then. Everything else, just like I say, it's just been history with me and him. So that's my day one for sure.
Thanks for your time, Octavius.
No problem.
So Bob, Ron, BJ.
Davis, how are you today?
I'm good.
Where do you think you're most improved this year? As you look at what you were able to accomplish in camp and spring, what might we notice that you will do better this year?
I say my speed have improved a lot. I feel like with the new strength coaches, they did a great job coming in and working on our speed and stuff like that. So I feel like my speed would be something that a lot of people will see. My breaks, in and out of my cuts and stuff like that, I feel like got way better. So a lot of things like that, skill wise.
When you look at UCF, what stands out about their defense? I know they've got a different coaching staff and they've got a lot of new players, but based on what you're looking at or what you've been told, what stands out about them?
Yeah, they're a great defense. They're quick. They're gonna run to the ball. They're gonna have all 11 guys run to the ball. They're just they're pretty good. They do a lot of things. They do a lot of things that they do the things that good defenses do. They gonna run to the ball. They're gonna make plays. They're gonna make tackles, and they're gonna go one-on-ones and stuff like that. They're gonna guard the best players one-on-one and make the best win. So they're a great defense. You can obviously, because they wouldn't be going man most of the time if they wasn't. So they're a great defense.
And finally, what's the feeling of playing a first game? How is a first game different from the rest of the other games in the season?
I feel like it's no difference, man. You got to treat every game like it's your last. No matter what, no matter if it's the first, second, third, you got to treat every game the same. So you got to come in with the same approach as you would the last game. So just focusing on what you can do, focus on the details and things, and just getting the job done. That's the only thing you should be focusing on.
Thanks, Octavius. Good luck this season.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, Octavius. So we've heard so much about your athleticism. Guys were talking last week about you dunking the ball. How good an athlete you are, but it hasn't shown up consistently on the field for you. How frustrating has that been over the years, and how do you bring that out on game day?
It could be frustrating, but for the longest, with dealing with injuries and stuff like that, and just having to work through them, your whole career. But just that can cause frustration for sure. But you gotta also look at the positive side of things, and that's the only way you can move forward and move away from, because you can't do nothing about the past. So you just have to move forward from that, and then just be thankful that, like, I'm thankful that God keeping me from being injured now, and I'm really healthy. So things been straight pretty good. But I feel like honestly, it's not more of me taking my frustration out, it's me just having fun, So I don't look back and be like, okay, I'm gonna go take my frustration out because all the times I couldn't show people what I could do. I just looked at it as I move forward and look at it as motivation now to hey, I get to play this game now. I get, I'm healthy. Like, go have fun. I can cut it loose now. So more of like having fun I'm more of having fun than like having that built up anger now, because that don't get you anywhere in life, just being angry. So
That's a really healthy mindset. You mentioned last year leaving the team to kind of get your mental side of the game right. Was there someone in your life that you could lean on during that time?
Yeah, I leaned on my brother, man. My younger brother, somebody I can always lean on, someone that I always grew up with, and he helped me out a lot. He told me that I was good. Like he always told me that I was special. He always kept telling me like, hey, bro, you got a big future. Don't ever forget what you did. Don't ever forget how good you can be or how good you are. And he just kept telling me things like that, and he just kept checking in on me, and that helped me out a lot.
In talking to CT Thomas yesterday, he was mentioning that he's kind of a deep ball specialist, while Khalil is more of a elusive guy that can break a screen for a big gain. What do you see as your specialty on the field?
I feel like I can make big catches, like contested catches. I'm more of that guy, like make contested catches. I can pull a couple dudes. Like if I catch the ball, I can get a couple more yards too. So we all have our different ways of playing. We all can play. Obviously, we all can play. So you're gonna see a lot of difference when it comes to the receiver core. Like with a lot of us, like we all just different. We got some speedsters. We got some dudes that can catch contested. We got like some elusive guys like Shaq, deep ball threats like CT too. So it's gonna be very exciting to see that on the field.
And how is Coach Plow's offense different from what you guys have run in the past? And how do you feel like it kind of fits your skill set?
I feel like it's just more like everybody getting involved. That's what I love about this offense. Like you got a lot of people that's gonna be involved that you might not even have heard of yet. So you just got to keep your eyes on the lookout, man. Like we got a lot of players that's gonna gonna have some eye opening to a lot of people, and a lot of people gonna start trying to catch on to who that guy is. So I say that's one thing that I love about that offense for sure. It's like we're gonna have a lot of people getting to show what they can really do in this offense.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Octavius, been covering you for 5 years, man, and it's obviously been an interesting career for you here at Boise State. How do you describe the last 4+ years since you stepped on campus?
I say it's been ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world because I learned a lot through that through a lot of things that happened in my career here. But yeah, it's definitely been ups and downs. But if it wasn't that, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So I just I'm thankful for everything that's happened, even the bad, so even the negative. So I definitely wouldn't take nothing back from all the things that happened in my career.
After that freshman year you had where you kind of burst onto the scene, and everybody kind of had huge high hopes for you, whether it be injuries or whatever else, as you've talked about, it just hasn't happened yet. I mean, why should fans, whoever, be confident that this year is going to be different?
Actually, because I'm not injured. I mean, you can't do nothing when you're injured. So that's obviously what been holding me down a lot too. And also I had to play through some injuries I had to play through, and I wasn't 100%. But it's just gonna be different. And just for me, honestly, not even the fans, it's just gonna be different for me because I'm finding joy for the game again, and I'm having fun being out there. So that just for me, honestly, it don't matter what other people think, believe. It matter about what I think and what I want for myself. So that's how I look at it.
CT was called an unfinished business yesterday in terms of why he came back, and I assume it sounds similar for you. I mean, what do you want to get out of this season? You came back for a reason, obviously. What would make this a successful year for you?
Yeah, just come back, have one more shot with my brothers, like he said, we had some unfinished business to take care of, but came back really to, just have that last year to like not regret not playing my last year, and just to meet new brothers that come on this team and to keep that bond forever, because I didn't want to leave and not come back and have that bond still with the team. So I wanted to come back and make sure that my brothers here at Boise knew that that I got them, that I have them for life. So that's one reason I came back for sure.
Well, I've asked a lot of guys this, but what's playing in a game like this to you? A Thursday night, prime time on ESPN to kick off the season against another, marquee team like Central Florida. I mean, for you, I know you've played in some big games, but this is obviously one of the bigger ones for you. How do you look at this, in terms of where this ranks for you? And I'm sure as a kid growing up, these are the kind of games you wanted to play in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting for all of us, honestly, just knowing that we Boise State, a lot of people look at us different as well. So I feel like just having that because that crowd gonna be live, it's gonna be lit. So I feel like it's gonna be exciting for all of us, and we're gonna take it in, we're gonna enjoy it, embrace it, and do the best we can to be victorious.
You as an offense, you mentioned the fans. You guys didn't have to play in front of many fans last year, especially on the road. First time in 2 years or whatever, it's going to be a sold out, crowd down there. What's the challenge going to be like going with fans and the noise and stuff that you haven't had to deal with for a while?
We've been, like I said, we work on that stuff, so I feel like we'll be fine. I mean, obviously, it's gonna be ups and downs in the game. I mean, that's just football, but I feel like for the most part, we gonna handle it well. We're gonna communicate on an outstanding level, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to get things done the right way.
Hey, appreciate your time. Have a good season, man.
Mm-hmm.
Davis, I think that's everybody. So appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks, Octavius.